a biblical principle. And you think, well, when I get married, I'll change. No, you ain't. That's not good English, but no, you're not. You're going to be just, it's like somebody says, well, man, if I won $1 million, I'd give to the church. No, you wouldn't. All that does is amplify or magnify what you are. If you're a thief with no money, you're going to be a thief with a lot of money. It's the same thing. So, you got to be willing to keep the relationship pure. Never see the inside of the other's bedroom. There's no need for that. Why would you do that? So, I heard that. I don't know who that was that said that. That's pretty good. Yeah. See if they made their bed. And let's see. You guys are awesome. I love this. All right? But you never see, a man should never see the inside of a prospective bride's bedroom. There's no reason for that. It sends a subliminal message of sexuality. So you don't do that. And a girl will never see the inside of a boy's bedroom because that gives him a psychological open door. She's in my bedroom. Right? Right? Yeah. So we don't do that. There's no need for that. Calls, text, emails, always under the authority of a chaperone, godly parent, not a Jonadab. I mentioned Jonadab before. Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab. Jonadab convinced Amnon to rape his sister, which then destroyed, and that was the sword that would not depart from David's home, David's heart, right? Remember when David committed adultery with Bathsheba and murdered Uriah, her husband? And he says, God's not going to kill you, but the sword will never depart out of your family. And that was the sword. That was one of the swords. Absalom was a whole other deal. So Amnon had a friend too. And so there was constant chaos in David's life moving forward. Why? Because there's always consequence for the decisions you make. So keep those things open. Parents, guardian, a godly counsel or guide always reviews those things. I've said before with kids, Hannah and Doug really got just because she was the youngest and I had to develop it. The older ones were like, yeah, he didn't learn this till later. It was awesome, man. And I know Becky and Dan did wonderfully well, too. I still remember when he asked for her hand in marriage. And that was an awesome night. I love thinking of that because I made him sweat. And I was going to say yes anyway, but when he says, can we go out for dinner? I'd like to come over and talk to you, Mr. Spencer. Like we didn't know what was going to be said, right? So he says, yeah, where would you like to go? Where'd we go? Outback Steakhouse. I knew we wasn't doing McDonald's. I knew that. There is a bride price. Yeah. And so Becky calls me right as I enter the parking lot. And I can't tell her where I'm at. She didn't know what's going on. She probably knew, but she's Becky. She finds out everything. And so I go in. They walk us back. I can still see, you're wearing some kind of football coat or something on it. But we go back to a back wall of the restaurant. I open up the menu, and I don't even look at what's on it. I just look at the price. He's buying. Bride price, baby. $54.99. That's what I want. I don't know what escargot and all that stuff is, but fess it up, baby. And I want a doggy bag on the way home, too, man. Yeah. And we talked, and so we talked for maybe 15 minutes. He never brought up Becky. I had to bring her up. That's finally, I said, because he was nervous as a cat. And so he says, I said, how's it going with you and Becky? Oh, Mr. Spencer, she's the most wonderful, wonderful girl I have ever met in my life. She's amazing. And he starts going on all this superfluous fluff. And I'm like, dude, I raised her. I know that. I didn't say that, so I just sat there and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, all right. And I was wondering, sir, if I'd like to, if I could, I might like to ask for her hand in marriage. And I just stared at him. We changed the topic. And I just kept staring at him. Because I'm thinking in my mind, if I can back him down, he's not going to be man enough to lead her. Because she's got to have a man leader. She's strong personality. So I just kept staring at him. And it probably went on. It seemed like 10 minutes. It was probably 2. And I said, "You probably noticed and I haven't answered you." "Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I have noticed that." Of course, I said yes, and he got the bill. And so there you go from there. But the fact the kids did it right, it was such a blessing. You know? And so the idea of keeping things, I was going to tell you that because when Doug and Hannah, being the youngest one, I would adapt as we'd go through the kids, and I'd talk to my wife, and sometimes she'd say, "Honey, that's a bit over the top." I said, "Yeah, but, you know, there's things that are biblical, and there's things that are just fun because you're the dad." All right? So, but they would not allow, they were not allowed. I read their letters. When he went back, that was before you got engaged? Yeah, it was before you got engaged. And we allowed you to start writing, but I read the letters. And I won't embarrass him, but the first one got sent back. "Return to sender." Boom. Yeah. Yeah. That's a hymn from a long time ago. Yeah, you old geezers are like, "Ain't no hymn. I know that song." Yeah. You know what Elvis would say if he were alive today? "Get me out of here. Get me out of here." Never mind. Lighten up, man. And so I can hear Elle go, "Who's Elvis?" You know. Okay. So we would do that. So he wrote one. It was a little bit too hot for a letter at that point in the relationship. So I edited it, sent it back. I said, "Let's try a second one, Romeo." That's exactly what I said. I said, "Let's try again, Romeo." And from then on, I maybe read the first 2 or 3, but I didn't have to read them after that. But the fact that we did not allow them to text, we did not allow them to email, they had, now daddies, mamas, fellas, you guys are the leaders, right, in this thing? If the girl's that special, you don't text her. You write her a letter. And that was my thought that I talked to Doug about when they were recording. I said, she's got to be more to you than a casual thought that comes to your mind and you're going to throw it. I want you to think about her. I want you to go buy paper, get a pencil, handwrite out your letter, because that shows you're telling me that she's valuable to you. And that whenever she would get, Mama would testify to this, whenever she would get a letter in the mail, you probably never even checked the mail, did you? She probably went out and checked the mail every day. And he did good. You wrote her a couple, 2, 3 times a week. And every time she got a letter, she called me, "Daddy, I got a letter. All right, I'll be home shortly." So then I had to get off work early, go home and read it. But then I got to where I didn't have to. I said, "Okay, that'd be all right. You can go ahead and read it." And, "Oh, good. And then she'd write you back, right? Every letter was answered. And so, but they were always appropriate and sponsored. All right, chaperone. Sir.
Does that mean that our young men who don't know how to write?
No, man. No, these guys know how to write. That was some. We did have people that didn't know how to read or write that graduated high school in our town. Yeah. So you keep your relationship pure. You keep it public. Again, being aware of private notes, being aware of private conversations. You need to keep it platonic. That means no patty fingers. All right, if you ever watch Quiet Man. No patty fingers. Keeping your hands to yourself, keeping your lips to yourself. And be patient. The wait will be worth it. It will be worth it. I wish somewhere we've got the video. You guys have the video of your wedding? Clips of it? Somewhere it went. I thought it went online for a while. But I mean, Becky put one on him here. They had waited, and I thought he was going to tap out. Man, she put one on him. And then Hannah, when she has her first one, she goes out in the hallway. You've heard the story. And the receiving line, and I go out. I follow them out, right? And she comes up to me and slaps me in the chest. Daddy, that was awesome. Her first kiss. And I said, yes, I know. That's why I wanted you to wait, because it was something so special. And then something about you guys got ambushed by somebody up on Lake Mackinac Island. Yeah? Yeah, they were stopped along a little dirt road to get a little kissy face and huggy bear. And then somebody was behind them. Yeah. Did they honk at you? Didn't you see him somewhere else? It was the pastor of the church. That's awesome. But that's why it's worth waiting. That's why it's worth waiting. It's stories just like that, man. And was that you that, hey, Doug, was that you that leaned in for a second kiss? And was that wedding? Do you remember back? And because it was a kiss and then kind of leaned forward, and she's like, no, we got to get through this thing. So, yeah, anyway. And don't worry about figuring out how to kiss somebody. It's going to be all right. It comes naturally. And girls, no lipstick on your wedding day, because you don't want to slip off when you get there. So we'll do that. And so just little keys that are important to know. I've done a lot of weddings. So that'd be important for you to do that. All righty? Okay. All right. Oh, we got to go. We got to go. I will have to stop here. Eventually, we're going to get through part 3. Part 3C will be next time. All right, what is next week? Give me a date. 17. The dating shame. I say, give me a date, and you guys all answer. All right. All right. Any questions? Any questions for me? Thank you, Carmen. Where's Carmen? Is Carmen in here? All right. Carmen, thank you. That is a beautiful picture, honey. Fantastic job. All right. I said, baby, did you do this? She goes, mm-hmm. That's awesome. Thank you very much. All right. No questions? All right. Martins can go on the scoop patrol. That sounds like walking dogs, doesn't it? Yeah, right. All right. I got it? Everybody in good shape? If you have questions, send them to me. Email them to me, however. And I'll find answers for you. And all righty? All right, we're going to go eat ice cream. We're going to go that way. Now, let me tell you this. And we don't have to worry about it quite so much now because it's getting dark outside. But the kids, listen to me. You cannot allow your kids to play in that parking lot. We about had one get killed. And had not one of our ladies screamed out, one of our other ladies would have driven right over the top of that child. They cannot play in that parking lot. They can play over by the buses because nobody's driving around over there. They cannot, from that invisible line, from down the gravel driveway to the dumpster, they got to stay on that side. And I'd rather you not bring scooters and bicycles because somebody's going to get killed. And listen, it only takes one time. Can you imagine one of our little ones? I literally shuddered when we were talking about it the past couple of days with some of our men to think that one of our precious little ones would be out there playing and somebody would drive over them. Whew! I'll start tearing up thinking about it. We can't be there. So we've got 5 acres. So, and they will be primarily where the parents are. If we move that way, you keep your kids out of the parking lot. Please do that. Please help us with that. It's kind of like I know it's a losing battle sometimes. It's like keeping the kids off the platform. The kids should never be on the platform. Never be on the piano. That's not a toy. None of that should go on. But it still does. Because it's a losing battle. But we need to try to keep that from them because the kids grab the microphones. How much is a microphone? What did we just pay for a microphone? Yeah, was that $400 or $500? Something like that we just paid for them. Is that about right, Brad? Yeah, $400 or $500, and you got a kid running down the hallway holding it, wanting to drive nails with it. Yeah, So fellas, if we could, Gabe, if we could, then pick up the handheld, put it in the box in the back. We'll keep it back there, and I'm good. All righty? Sure love you guys, man. All right. Let's stand together. We'll pray. We're going to go out that hallway, down that way, and then you can find a place to sit in the fellowship hall as people go through the line for their ice cream. And that ice cream thing, man, that's a big deal. And if you want to, there should be a donation jar there, no cost. If you want to give a little bit of something, it will go to, number one, replenishing the ice cream. Then anything above that goes to the building fund. So if you want to put $50,000 in there, we'll only buy one tub of ice cream and the rest of it goes to the building fund. $50,000 check, slide it right in there. That'll be work. Father, I love you and I love these people. Thank you for the time together. Bless our time of fellowship here in just a moment and the refreshments you've provided for us. You're so gracious. Help us to never, Father, please, never take for granted what you've given to us here. In Jesus' name, amen. You're dismissed.